Hey, we are live and we are recording. Hello, guys. It's been a while since I last sat and delivered What's Your Story? It takes us back to, goodness me, lockdown, right? And I'm sure when we came out of lockdown, we said, right, no more online stuff. The thing is, all the stuff we did in the year of 2020 and everything we learned about delivering, whether it's training sessions or workshops or networking events or even events like this online, you started to get an audience around the world. And for me, the whole thing now is hybrid. It's being able to do stuff live in person, but also being able to invite a wider audience all around the world and keep them included. Now, today is a special day. Not only is it the first one actually, I would hazard a guess and say I haven't done What's Your Story for quite some time. But it's with great pleasure today to be talking about wine. I mean, goodness me, it's like 1 o'clock in the afternoon here in London, and we're talking about wine. Somewhere, somebody is drinking wine right now. And I'm sure my guest today is going to be probably holding up a glass of wine very, very soon. So, my guest today, Gerhard Perold, who is from the family of the creators of the Pinotage Wine in South Africa. This is a story not many people know. Whoa. I haven't even got you to talk, Gerhard, and you're already drinking. Goodness me.
So sorry.
Gerhard's great-grandfather, Abraham Isaac Perold, was the first person that created the Pinotage grape in South Africa in 1924, and not many people know this. So this is the story. A little bit of that story will be told today and shared. But the big thing is really talking about this wonderful event that we have next week, Saturday, the 9th of October. So this is like a little taster. Oh, excuse the pun. No. That pun was deliberate, very deliberate. This is all a big taster for next week's event as well. You will see at the bottom of the screen a link which you can click and you can actually register for that event next week. All right. Right. Let me bring to the stage where you can already see Gerhard. He's desperate to talk about wine. He's desperate to drink wine. Gerhard, welcome and thanks so much for coming to What's Your Story today.
Good afternoon. Yes. Thank you, Andy. It's a pleasure to be here with you, chatting about stories and wine. I mean, I'm sorry, I opened up a wine while I couldn't wait anymore. I needed to have a little glass of wine. You know, a glass of Pinotage. This is something that is absolutely incredible. A creation that came from two varietals of grape varietals. But we will talk a lot about that as the afternoon goes on and on our event. So I'm really happy to talk about the Pinotage. Yes, I don't want too much to let out too much of the story, but we will capture a little bit of it. Yes.
Now I know we have someone missing today because Michelle, who is our co-host for this event and was also going to come along today, Michelle Cheen, unfortunately, we're not sure. We're not sure whether whether it's the big COVID has nabbed her. We don't know, but she's at home, a little bit, under the weather, and said, "Hey guys, do you mind if I just watch? I want to fight this one. I want to nail this one in the butt, and I want to be in good form for next week." So Michelle, I know you're going to be watching this. We wish you well. Hope you get well very, very, very quickly. Now, Michelle is the one that's actually helping me as the storyteller, helping me with the story, because Gerhard, your great grandfather's story was captured amazingly well in a book, and I know you've got a copy of that book. Have you got it with you there?
I've got a lovely copy. But before we talk about the copy, and I want to say, yeah, without Michelle, we are not the free. There's definitely dearly missed on the little chat here today, but she will be at the event and we're going to make the difference and complete the free. But yeah, this is the book, a book about my great grandfather, written by R.U. Kenny. And actually, it doesn't look any good anymore because actually this is a signed copy to me on my first Christmas in 1981, but a well-read book at least. So luckily I have 2 copies of this book, and I kindly sent one to Michelle with an interesting courier way to get to her, and we can talk about that. And she's thoroughly starting to read through the book and is amazed about all the little bits of stories inside the book about the man himself who created Pinotage.
Well, I think the other thing to say is one of the languages in South Africa is Afrikaans. Afrikaans was a subject I had to study at school. It was a subject I didn't particularly do very well in. And that entire book is written in Afrikaans, right? And there's a bit of English in it, isn't there?
There is a
Gerhard?
little bit of English. It is in Afrikaans, but watch the space. Watch the
Exactly.
space.
And that's where Michelle's coming in, because Michelle is the one that's helping to transcribe. And it's going to be very interesting to see how next week's event goes, because I can feel there's going to be a really lovely opportunity for us to share the story in Afrikaans. So it'll be wonderful for South Africans, Afrikaans speaking South Africans all around the world to come along and be a part of it. And then I will be facilitating and helping in the delivery for the non-South Africans all around the world that love Pinotage wine, right? I mean, let's get real. Pinotage is certainly a wine now that people appreciate. It wasn't always that way, was it, Gerhard?
No. In the early parts of Pinotage, connoisseurs from around the world didn't found it as a liable grape to be planted commercially because of the old burned rubber and rusty nails. That sounds quite something that's nothing to do with wine. Yes, luckily through the years and through the understanding of how to deal with the grape itself, winemakers started to make some beautiful wines. And nowadays you get so many different styles. So someone come and say, I don't like a Pinotage, haven't tasted all the Pinotage wines yet. That's the thing.
Yeah. But let's come back to burnt rubber and rusty nails. What's the story behind that? You said the connoisseurs. These are were friends from Europe that came out to have a taste of this new wine on the market.
Yes, that's basically it. They came over to South Africa and at the time tasted the wines that they made, they described it as that was actually was the nicer way of putting it rather than what they really said, because it's maybe not good for to write those type of words in any write up or on any I suppose at the time writing it up, but yeah, sort of smelling burned rubber on the nose and getting like a rusty nail taste on your palate. Bloody hell, I wouldn't drink that. And I tell you, I drink a lot of Pinotage. Yes, I think unfortunately in those days that was it, and a lot of people then actually decided we were going to rip up our Pinotage plants, and only a handful of people kept going with it. And luckily, because I've got 3 wines that we're going to taste on our event that is so different from each other, but absolutely showcasing what can be done with Pinotage.
So that glass of Pinotage you had with you when you were very unfairly holding up, because I know many people are working, and I don't think there's many people. And I've actually got a bottle of KWV Pinotage which my dad gave me for my 21st. And just really quickly, I'll talk more about this wine next week. I'll just hold it up so people can see it properly. But this bottle of wine, it's the vintage of 93. So I've had it for a significant amount of time, and I traveled when I first came to the UK in 2001. The bottle came with me, and I thought, no, I'm just going to keep it. And then someone said to me, you can't keep Pinotage. Pinotage does not last. And Gerhard, it was like, it was so wonderful for you to tell me, hey, if you've looked after it, that's going to be a nice bottle of wine.
Well, it could be, and that's what we hope for in any case. Unfortunately, with wine, it could go either way. Some wines you can keep for 25, 50 years, and it might still be okay. Some wines you want to drink very early, as soon as it's gone into the bottle, and some wines you want to keep for about 2 to 5 years or 8 years. But certainly, Pinotage is a great variety that it's been found that you can and keep it and laying it down, as those guys who made those wines that was full of burnt rubber and rusty nails actually put their bottles back into the cellar and left it there. And many years later, they pulled those wines out and start tasting it, and they've seen how much the aromas have developed to more like a banana, chocolate, and all sorts of characters that came out of the wine. So definitely, over time, wine can develop and be good or not good. But I'm sure the Pinotage will taste very good when we taste it.
Sorry, I know we went a little bit off the rails there, but just coming back to that lovely glass you've got. What wine is that? Which Pinotage is that you've got?
Now this one is a bottle I just opened up. It's a nice little everyday drinking wine. That's why I can have it on a lunchtime chat. So this is the Painted Wolf then Pinotage. This just a soft, easy drinking wine. Really something you can just have in your glass, or actually it goes really well with some midweek food. Maybe like enchilada, or it's a bit of Mexican night food type of thing. This will fit really nicely with it, basically. Actually, the one I've got here has got a little bit of Shiraz with it, because the winemaker wanted to create this style of Pinotage and have a little bit of the Shiraz, bringing in something different into the bottle. But beautiful wine, and the Painted Wolf itself is a story to tell.
I know. Are we going to save that for next week? What is your process? What's your little ritual when you open up a bottle of wine? Because I mean, you're so used to doing corporate events and wine tasting events, and do you have like a little routine that you go through when you open up a bottle?
Well, I always taste them to just check if it's all good, even though it's a Zoom tasting. Because when I do live tastings with people, then I would taste it to see if it's not corked, so I can serve it. Because you unfortunately get sometimes a natural process and things happens. But even on the Zoom, I do that. But on a normal drinking day or at home and just having a little glass of wine. Screw cap is easy, and I just screw it open, and I'll pour a glass of wine. But I will have a look at it quickly. I won't go on too much about the color when I drink it by myself, or with my wife and family or whatever. No, not by myself totally. And then I would just have a little good smell and appreciate the wine rather than just gulping it down and drinking wine. I rather want to appreciate and taste the wine. So I will have a little smell, and I will have a swirl that releases some oxygen, and then taste the wine with a slurp. And I always get a little bit of my wife when we go to a restaurant. I don't want to be this wine snob, but it's just in me to actually taste the wine. So I would slurp it, and she was like, "You don't need to do that. Just drink your glass of wine."
But you don't have a little spittoon next to you where you're spitting it out and go, hang on, let me try that again.
Yeah, no, I'm not going that far, but at least I taste the wine. But I can't help it. It's just
what about letting the bottle of wine breathe and getting oxygen into it? I mean, what's the right thing to do with that?
The right wine and the right temperature is important. Because a lot of people might not know that all white wines is not all need to be chilled right down. Some of them you want to open at sort of 10 degrees maybe. So that starts with that, is keeping your wine correctly in the right temperatures. And then the aerating of a wine is very important. Everyday drinking, easy drinking with friends wine, crack open a nice glass of wine is not maybe as important, but it does help as well. But if you have a nice bottle of wine that you want to share with friends around a nice dinner table, decanting it for a good hour to hour and a half before the time does it the wonders, especially if it's something like that bottle you got there with you. You don't want to just open it, pouring it, drink it. You want to get out of the bottle. It's been in there for quite a while, and you want it to sort of let it just relax, open up a bit, and let it show its character rather than just taking it and chucking it out. It makes a difference for me in that. It's like putting you in a cupboard for a long time and then just open it up quickly and let you come out, you're like in a shock. So therefore, when you open a good bottle of wine, treat it with respect, because it needs a little bit of that time to sort of just chill out and go, hey, this is nice, I like this place, let me entertain you, and that's
I
what you
like
need to
that.
do with a bottle of wine.
I love that. It's interesting you just mentioned the wine as well, because I'm sure people are thinking, oh, so you're going to open that bottle of wine? And we've already said no, we're going to wait until the right date. But let's start with the date next week, 9th of October, and why that's a special date. I mean, you're the one that initially proposed the 9th of October. Why is that, Gerhard?
Well, the 9th is a Saturday that most people want to have a little bit of a fun night, rather than on the Sunday, the 10th of October, because we all need to get up nice and fresh on the 11th for work. So the 10th of October is actually the International Pinotage Day, or celebrating the Pinotage grape on that day. And why would that be? Because actually my great-grandfather, who created this wonderful grape variety, was born in October, 20th of October, 1880. So that's why it's a very important date, and why we're going to celebrate 3 Pinotage wines on the event.
Fantastic. And I know we're talking 97 years, but for the 100-year celebration, we've got even bigger plans. And that is the event that we hopefully are going to bring this bottle of 93 KWV and open it up and see what it tastes like. Now, my brother in South Africa, because I told him about this, and he said, oh, that must be worth a fortune. And then he went and had a look online, and he came back and he said, oh, I'm really sorry, it's not worth that much. But it's not about I've kept this wine for, because I feel that it's an investment and I'm going to get a financial return on it. Not at all. It is a part of me because it was very special. My dad gave it to me at my 21st. And the thing is now, it was like, well, when do I open it? I mean, I've been keeping it for so long. When do I open this bottle of wine? And I just couldn't find the right reason for it. And it was only through meeting you and Michelle, and then we came up with this idea and we started talking about it. And I didn't realize the strong connection your father has with KWV as well, which I know it's going to be a big part of next week as well, because we have the wine master from KWV joining us on the evening as well. So there's a lot to look forward to. But your great grandfather, he worked for KWV, didn't he?
That's correct. Yes, he was a lecturer at the University of Stellenbosch. That's where he actually sort of started to make the magic, what we will talk about in the event. And then he took up the main viticulturist position at KWV and worked there for many years. 1928, I think he went to KWV and played a massive role in there. And you would well, we're gonna hear Isel van Blark, the wine master at KWV, the Mentos range, their top wines, and a lot of attraction on those wines in the UK at the moment. And you're gonna hear her talking about it and how much Perold has played a Mentos role for her, even many generations or few generations on. Yes, so definitely an important part of the whole Pinotage.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I'm excited. I mean, it's gonna be. I mean, I've been trying to connect with the right person, because I think even during lockdown, there's a part of me that feels, oh my goodness, why didn't we start this at the beginning of lockdown? But we hadn't met. And actually credit to Michelle Cheen as well, because we made contact on Facebook, and I can't even remember what it was, but she contacted me and said, hey, you're a storyteller, would you like to come along to Content College? And I said, well, what is Content College? And she said, Content College is really it's a content creative community of people. And I met with Michelle, and I met with her business partner Dawn, and I was just blown away. So Dawn Denton, who is so extremely connected, her and Michelle, this business that they've created together, Content College, is just, I don't know. I mean, I know you've joined it now as well, Gerhard, but it's just phenomenal in terms of the amount of stuff that gets done now.
It's amazing. I know Dawn for quite a while, actually. I worked with Dawn for quite a few years now. We connected probably about 4 years ago, I suppose, and done lots of different work and bits and pieces with her, and courses she have put on different aspects around content, I suppose, in a way. And then through that, met Michelle as well. And if it wasn't for Michelle turning the wheel and met you, we wouldn't have met. And it's great. I know, I saw a post of yours on Facebook, and I was looking at this character storyteller, and I was like, he looks cool. I want to meet this guy. But yes, and then it just sort of worked out, and then Michelle came to me and say, "Hey, you need to speak to Andy. You two is going to be great together." And I thought, yeah, cool. Let's do this. Let's have a meeting, and and I'm looking forward to our series of events. Yes,
well, it's actually interesting because we sort of met, not in person, but we met through my experience of enjoying the bottle of the Painted Wolf Pinotage, because it was Marky Lang from Firemasters UK that imports the South African or the Namibian hardwoods, the camel thorn and sicklebush woods, and sells it in the UK, and it's sold as firewood for a braai. For those that may not know what a braai is, that is the correct way of cooking meat on an open fire. Ooh, did I say that loud? No, just joking. You would know it as a barbecue, but South Africans, I'm sure many that are on this call would know what a braai is. But the best way to cook, to have a braai, is to cook on wood.
Yeah.
The trouble is, and I know my friend Tony is on this, has joined in the audience today as well. Tony and I started messing around with pieces of wood that we found in the woods, and Tony's an exceptional wood craftsman, and he does hand turning, so he turns the wood into amazing things. And when I started working with him, and he was able to, we even started experimenting a few years ago with firewood. So firewood that would be destined for the fireplace. It was exceptionally dry. So and I said to Tony, let's see what we can make. And Tony started making some really exceptional pieces of art and wooden bowls and things like that. So when I contacted Marky Lang, right, the first time was really, I thought, here's a really good resource of some really lovely dried hardwood. And it had the most magnificent colors as well. So I bought a bag of firewood from Marky just for, in essence, to create something out of the pieces. And when the wood arrived, I mean, we're talking, I've got a piece here. This is a Cameel Doorn, or camel thorn, right? So hard as anything. And then I used my bandsaw at home, and I'd start cutting chunks and gave it to Tony and said, Tony, what can you do with this? And then Tony started making things. And interestingly, one of the things that Tony first made was this tea light holder. So that is turned. You can see it's got lovely little artistic cracks and things, but that's not down to anything. It's not Tony's fault. It was just the wood, the nature of the fact that I couldn't get really neat little chunks to work with, but able to create something really cool. But you see, I was doing a lot of wood carving at the time, and I loved making things. And I made these two carving knives. And these blades actually were bought from a Swedish knife smith. And these handles are made out of camel thorn wood, which I hand carved. So I sent pictures to Mikey. I said, hey, Mikey, check what I've made, or check what we've made, myself and Tony, out of your firewood. And he said, my God, that's amazing, right? He said, I didn't even think that was possible. And then just by chance, I entered. I don't know. I was in a raffle or something, and I won a hamper. And in that hamper, you are one of the sponsors of prizes in that hamper, Gerhard. So I received this bottle of Painted Wolf Pinotage, and I'm not, I will admit, I will say that I sat and I drank that entire bottle on myself. I didn't share it with anyone, and I don't feel guilty. It was absolutely amazing, right? It was right at the beginning of lockdown. We couldn't see anyone. So I really, really enjoyed that bottle of wine. And then I thought, at that point, I need to meet this guy. I'm sure we can do something in terms of love,
Well,
wine,
there's nothing
storytelling.
wrong. There's nothing wrong with enjoying a bottle of wine by yourself. Sometimes, that you all get at times where it's necessary to enjoy a good bottle of wine by yourself. But a lot of wine is there to share with friends, and I'm looking forward to share these Pinotage wines in our event on the 9th of October
Well,
with our friends.
that's the thing, right? So next week, what people can do, because I know it's online and it's virtual, but South Africa continues to be on the red travel list, and I know many South Africans around the world are extremely frustrated with it. We hope that something's going to resolve itself very, very soon. But even then, I think it's still going to be a struggle for people because it'll still be quite expensive still to travel, I expect, in the short term. But this event next week is a wonderful opportunity. So you could do it live. You could invite some friends around to your house, pre-order the wines from Gerhard, and get the wines in, host a party, and then link your laptop up to the TV so you can effectively, yes, oh, that's the rosé. And yeah, I mean, that's the beautiful thing. Try it out, hook it up to TV, and invite your families from your family and friends in South Africa or around the world. This is a great way where you can come together and be a part of this event. So if you could just run through those wines, and I was talking while you're holding them up, Gerhard, but just quickly, do you want to just run through those 3 wines that we're going to be tasting next week?
Well, first of all, we're going to start with a nice little rosé. Now, people will go rosé. Actually, this shows you that Pinotage is just not red wine. Actually, you get white Pinotage as well, but we'll do that in another time. But a nice little rosé from Painted Wolf. So you're already saying how good their Pinotage wine is. This is a nice little rosé, and I know Jeremy loves making his little Pinotage rosé. Then we're gonna come up to really top range, absolutely amazing KWV Mentos range Pinotage from Isel van Blerk Stellenbosch wine. So Stellenbosch grapes. There's a 2018 vintage, and hey, even got Tim Atkins saying, hey, one of the big wine writers in the UK. He actually gave it a good 92 out of 100. That's a very good score, really. And then, not last but not least, we have some gem underneath us as well. A little Truter family. Now, Celeste Truter is the winemaker who made actually this one. But it's a very interesting story that her and her husband have as well, and how they met and how they got to produce these wines. And that's the Gerhard John David. And we will learn all about this wine by a nice little Pinotage blend. So interesting to hear that. Pinotage blend, a wine that you could keep for a while. So definitely need to buy your wines, need to come to the event because it's going to be very special.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, and people can, I mean, if they want, because you've got some really good contacts when it comes to some things that go well with wine. Perhaps some nice cheese, right?
Yes.
And you've got some really good selected cheeses that you've recommended with the wines, and people can come to you ahead of the event. All the links we have put in the event as well. If you're feeling like, you know what, I want to book for that event now, just a reminder, the link is in the bottom of your screen. Click it now, right? But also, if you've got a question, I know we do have some people in the audience. If you have any questions that you want to ask now, by all means, just throw it into the chat. Very happy to take any questions, and we can see if we can answer them. But one other thing about next week,
the hamper will not just have cheese; it will have one of the nicest pairings with. We will have wine, definitely. You will have 3 bottles of wine in the hamper: rosé, the Pinotage, and the blend. And then you will have a couple of cheeses. You will have some crackers. You will have a chocolate bar, a luxury chocolate bar, and you will have some biltong as well to enjoy as part of your hamper. I tell you, I don't know, but I would want one of those hampers next to me when I'm listening to the stories and tasting and drinking South African celebration of food and drink. Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, that's in essence, that in essence is something which I feel the three of us, you, me, or you, Michelle, myself, we've thought, hang on, we can't just do one event, because it's about celebrating South Africa. It's supporting the wine industries. It's celebrating the food of South Africa. But the other thing, which I think I'm really excited about, is supporting performing artists from South Africa. And next week, I put a shout out over the last few weeks trying to find a South African singer, songwriter that may be willing to come along and perform on the night. And yeah, we found someone really exceptional. Her name's Nadia Rae, and yeah, she's going to be singing some absolute cracking songs next week. So that's going to be live. When I say live on Zoom, but it's going to be special.
Definitely special. Yeah, wow. I mean, her music is very touching. Yeah, to say the least.
Now, I haven't seen any questions come in, but I'm just to run through the event next week. It's going to be 2 hours. So we start at 7:00 British Summer Time. It's the last, well, it's going to be, we're heading towards the end of British Summer Time, which is a bit sad in the UK, but I know most of South Africa are now in spring going into summer. A lovely, lovely time in SA. But the evening itself, it's going to be 7:00. So it'll be 8:00 in South Africa, but it's also 7:00 in the evening. So it'll be lunchtime in America. It's going to be a mix. The evening is going to be myself. It's going to be Michelle. It's going to be Gerhard talking. We've got invited guests. So we've got Isel from KWV. We've got Jeremy, the wine master for Painted Wolf. He's going to be joining us as well. And we've got Nadia entertaining us with music. So, and then of course, the highlight, of course, Gerhard, is you actually taking us through the wines, and we're going to be live wine tasting.
The wine tasting, stories, music, winemakers, food, drink, entertainment. I'm sorry, but what a night. But I see there's a question there from David, really, asking about a Pinotage only found in SA. Shall I let it out now? Or shall I leave it to the event? Come to the event. I'll tell you. Okay, I'll tell you a little bit something, and then the event will say some more. We'll say some more. But yes, you can find Pinotage is growing actually in over 40 countries at the moment. But a little bit more on that when we get to talking about Pinotage next week.
I mean, I just love. I mean, I don't want to say it because I think it's such an amazing story, but it's the story of taking those two grapevines from France and putting them together. And I think no, we're not going to say anything now. We'll wait till next week. But yeah, the reputation of Pinotage certainly has changed, and it's very well regarded by many people. It's still some that say, oh, there's too much tannin and there's too much acidity, but it's like, well, that is really something that goes with South African wines, isn't it?
Oh, definitely. And in South Africa, you get a lot. We're celebrating Pinotage Day on this event. And in South Africa, Pinotage Day is a massive thing down in the Cape. They have big Pinotage festivals. They've got Pinotage and Biltong Festival. And on tap, they do have it on tap. They have Pinotage on a keg, tapping away at these festivals, drinking Pinotage by the bucket loads full, because it's such a fantastic grape, fantastic wine. Yeah, if you haven't tasted it, you need to. And if you don't like Pinotage, please come and listen to the story and try 3 more different ones, which you probably haven't tasted, because I will change your mind about Pinotage, that's for sure.
I think that's a big thing. Even if you're struggling to find a Pinotage wine in your area, and perhaps wherever you are in the world, and you're thinking, goodness me, I'll go and look and find something. But if you can't find, please still come along. Join us. Bring something you enjoy to drink and just come along in the evening. You will definitely still enjoy it.
Because there will be great stories. You will have Michelle, you will have Andy chatting away as well. You will have some winemakers and you can hear interesting stories from there, and beautiful music. So definitely something to come along for.
Excellent. Right. I think that brings this session of What's Your Story, brings it to an end for today. Dave, thanks very much for your questions. If anybody else has any questions, please, by all means, you can contact me. My email is info@mylandandvoice.co.uk. Send me a question, ask me anything, pass it on to Gerhard. And again, if you can, please share today's this recording. Share it with all your friends. Encourage them to come along to celebrate the Pinotage Wine next week, or part of this event called Time to Wind Down. The pun is very, very deliberate. I hope you can see that. Yeah. And yeah, we look forward to seeing you there. All right. So this is the end. Gerhard Perold, it was an absolute pleasure to have you here today. Thank you so much for being with us. Michelle, please, we hope you get well very, very soon, because we need you next week. We definitely need you, because you're going to have to probably control us. You know what Gerhard and I are like. We can tend to sometimes go off the rails. So you need to bring us back now and again, especially if we start the drinking part. I hope your day, so everyone that's joined us today, I hope you're probably tempted now to go and have yourself a glass of wine. You know what? I give you full permission to do so, right? No matter where you are in the world, go and open a glass of wine now and let us know how it... What? What's that, Gerhard?
The plane has gone over, so you're ready to go. We can go. Enjoy a glass of wine.
All right.
Thank you, Andy.
Take care, everyone. Have a wonderful day, and we look forward to seeing you on the 9th of October. All right. Bye.